The commander's intent of this video is that you learn to command your intent. Wait, don't leave yet. It gets better. Intent is a key capability in 21st century military operations. The commander's intent describes the desired end state. What does all this mean to us playing World of Warcraft? Well, in RBGs, the Strat Caller, or group leader, so to speak, is effectively the commander of their group. When leading an RPG, there's effectively two different ways of doing it. You can either just give out the commander's intent and let people know, oh, we're going after this objective or that objective, or you can micromanage people. Sometimes you can do a combination of the both. Usually that's ideal. In an RPG, if you are the type of leader that gives out the commander's intent, and that's all, generally you can say that good players will know what to do in order to accomplish your goal, and they'll help you reach it. Bad players will either ignore you, or just follow the plan as if they're an individual with blinders on the whole time. As a side note, how well a player can execute on a commander's intent is generally a good indication of their personal skill cap with regards to RBGs. Someone may have a very high personal skill cap in terms of arenas because they're very good at playing their character. But in RBGs, it's a team-oriented environment with different objectives, and it's not all about how fast you can counteract a single target or mash your buttons. So their skill cap may be a little bit lower because they lack some skills such as battlefield awareness, teamwork, communication, big picture understanding, etc. The reverse can also be said about people having a high skill cap in terms of a team-related setting, but maybe a lower skill cap in, say, an arena or individual duelist sort of setting. I will say you shouldn't go off of strictly ratings, such as arena ratings and RBG ratings, because there's so many other factors that go into those ratings, such as being able to find a good team to play on, or find good arena partners, or just bad timing, or how much you play. And so looking at how well a team will follow your intent in an RBG, and you can take them for a test run in, say, like a regular BG first, will give you a good feel for how well they'll be able to react to this kind of leadership. You, on the other hand, may be the one needing some practice in commanding by intent. A good way to practice this is to, so to speak, hamstring yourself. Go into a YOLO or regular BG and try being the leader of it entirely through raid warning. You'll find that if you're trying to micromanage everybody and that's your way of leadership, and you can't step back and just let people, trust people to do what they're good at and just give them overall or overarching goals, you're going to be typing a lot and playing not so much. You'll effectively be a handicap to your team. Get really good at distilling what is really important into a few words and saying, go do this, you handle the details. For your enjoyment, I made some PowerPoint art. Certain battlegrounds will generally lean one way or another in terms of how well they can be micromanaged versus commanded by intent. Sometimes it's better to give a very concise, goal-oriented sort of leadership, and other times you really want to be able to be hands-on and direct people who should be guarding nodes, who should carry the flag, who should do what. In this picture, I've split up all the different BGs into 3 different groups. You've got the orchestration-oriented BGs. These are the BGs that you would be better off micromanaging, and this is by my own opinion, but speaking from experience, if it's a node type of map where there are objectives, even in Deepwind Gorge there is a minecart to be carrying, you're kind of better off telling people where to go and really orchestrating that via the mini-map. There are other BGs that are just too big, Alterac Valley, Isle of Conquest, Strand of the Ancients, for you to really effectively lead in general. But if you were to do it, you'd probably want to go off the map because 40 people is a bit much to handle. Lucky for us, A lot of the larger BGs are cut out from rated battlegrounds, so you don't have to worry about them too much. Lastly, you've got battlegrounds that favor the team fight so much that you really, really need to learn to lean on and trust your team's ability to self-guide themselves through a team fight and know when to break off, when to peel out. Now, there are some things that you can still do as a strat caller, and that's where the intent comes in. You gotta say, we're gonna go in, we're gonna win the team fight, we gotta be very reactive, call out what's going on, and as a strat caller, your job is largely to be able to find out when is the right time to say, okay, yeah, there's more people here that we can kill, but we really got to peel out to go kill the FC or get to the next minecart, etc. Some players, believe it or not, are really smart and don't need a lot of hand-holding. They are generally in the minority. It generally takes me several months of pugging around and networking till I can finally put together a full team of solid players. But if you can find them, then your job as a strat caller goes from possibly being a big burden to simply being the guy making an executive's decision during the battleground and letting everybody else do what they're really good at. That in turn allows you to be a better player, higher DPS, higher CC, whatever is the result of your class, but it allows you to focus more on playing and less on the burdens of being that strat caller. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What kind of leader have you traditionally been? I think that most leaders tend to lean one way or another out of preference. Generally, some people are more specific in their direction or less specific in their direction, and it takes some practice to get used to balancing them both and knowing when to use one type of direction versus another. But let me know what you think, and if you've got any questions, shoot them my way as well via the comments section. I'm also on Twitter. Feel free to follow me there, and I'll see you next week.
Nope. I'm on the graveyard. You guys do other stuff that's good.
There's a solid strat. I'm standing here. The rest of you do good stuff.
Yeah. Fucking blasted. I'm spinning the flag. All I gotta do. Just keep doing it.